Okay, everybody, I'm going to do some part two stuff on this drawing. Now, I had the same issue actually as I did with the last drawing, which is it fell down. Unfortunately, this one wasn't knotted, so it was a little bit harder to put back. So I got it as close as I could. And like I said, I did not have the photo references because I had to wipe my phone and forgot to back them up. It was a whole catastrophe. But, that sometimes happens, and that's the name of the game of making it work in a drawing class. Normally, I would just start all over if that happened and I couldn't put it back. But for the sake of what we're doing here, you don't need to see me go back and do a whole nother demo, and I want this to be cohesive for you. I will do a little bit better work in the morning trying to set it back up. Here's the still life. Actually, I just realized probably from the video that I uploaded, I could actually get a screenshot. Not ideal to work from, but it might help. Still pulling out these big folds. I'm getting my light is from over here this time instead. So I have the shadow right here. We'll work on putting that in. I'm definitely going to lighten this up a bit more. Also, if you are working on your wall and you're getting a little bit of this texture, there is paper underneath this, but you can also, put a cardboard underneath, like a non-corrugated cardboard, something nice and flat. You should definitely make sure this is flat. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because I know you guys can figure this out, but you can already see that it does just so much of the drawing here. So unlike the striped fabric, a lot of our movements here are going to be larger, okay? They're going to be a little bit more grand, and they're going to be a lot more focused on form. So I have the sheet one right here, whereas because of the stripes, a lot of our movements are very small. You're still getting form. There's still form in there, but it's not to this level where you've got to do the big areas that are sweeping up. So this, in many ways, is a little bit more gestural, and you've got to make sure that you understand the form here. So I understand that the fabric is sweeping up here. I've got shaded fabric down here. I've got some fabric here. Actually, it's coming down. It's kind of rolling this way. Okay, right now the bottom is a little bit different, so I'm going to focus on the top and see if I can't get something for the morning, like a screenshot. I'm going to add in charcoal here as well. And one of the areas I'm going to start with is actually the shadow on the wall. So I'm just looking for a slightly bigger piece of charcoal here to use. And this is pretty important. It is one of the darkest areas. And again, hopefully you're watching both demos because I'm going to refer to them. So I'm going to keep my physical edge with the fabric sharp, but I'm going to soften out this edge. Again, I can always come back in and erase a little bit. But the physical edge shows the difference in the materials. And I can just, again, easily hit that up. A little bit of an eraser mark, keeping those edges crisp. And if I was like, that got a little bit big, all I got to do is come in. You can wipe off the eraser on your wall. Well, only do that if you are allowed to. Take a minute here, pull out more bright values. Oh, got a little over here. Again, use my dirty hand. I'm dropping everything today. I'm going to get a small piece of charcoal, work here in this kind of a hole that's right here because the fabric's draped over. So again, physical edge I want to keep sharp. I'm going to soften up towards the inside a little bit. just like with the last project, that didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, but I can come in with a little bit of a jiggle. I hope you realize that your middle tone, your gray tone that you started with is already doing a lot of the work. So don't feel like you need to cover that up. And here again, I'm strengthening out an edge, bringing more form back in. It just kind of sits there really lovely. I'm going to visit over here, do the same thing. And again, while I'm doing this, I'm getting rid of extraneous lines. I'm getting rid of lines, period, right? Because I don't need them. It should just be form against form, value against value. The stuff that's tucked underneath is not quite as bright as over here, so it doesn't have to be. You're also going to notice I'm not using perhaps as much of the tiny eraser. That's because I don't have tiny areas. But if you're more comfortable using that, that's okay. Just make sure it doesn't get too liney, too stripey with it if you don't have striped fabric. Kind of want to sweep the fabric up here. I'm going to hit back over here now too. I'm going to come in. Now you have to look, is this as bright as this? No, but it's still definitely brighter. I definitely want it to have a little bit more presence. And then it kind of folds down here and becomes like another dip. And I can shade a little bit of that line in. Just gonna have two like dips there. Had that paper peel up in the last demo. I'm just gonna make sure I keep it covered. It's really not that much of a spot, so I'm not really too worried about it. I also talked to you guys a little bit in the last project about exaggeration of values if you need it. I'm gonna bring out this brightness a tiny bit because I want it to seem a little bit brighter, just for effect. I'm also going to come in, because my light is over here on the left, it's going to fade this way. So I actually want to start fading that light out a bit. And that's going to help making this look a little bit brighter without having to erase a ton. And I actually do get a cast shadow over here. One of the difficulties is, again, that I am doing a demonstration at night when I started drawing this during the day. So if you do that, it's good to have your photo to make sure that things are the same. You can work from life and the photo if you need to. But again, I face that unique problem of I lost the photo. And I'm just going to fade that out. If I need to, again, I can always hit that up with the eraser. Or the cloth. Like maybe, you're like, I'm going back and forth, Lindsay, and it's not doing what I want it to do. You can just come back in. Ooh, that's exactly what I needed there. And then I come back in with the eraser. Kind of have the same sort of loop-de-loop that I did over on the other side, right here. And again, the fabric kind of comes up and then in and then around. I want to accentuate that a little bit more. But I'm going to take a minute, come in here. A little bit too big of a piece of charcoal to go in there. That's okay. it's good practice just to figure out how to make it work. And you keep playing. What I will do is when we're on Zoom in the morning, I will show you guys this in real life just to see if it helps a little bit. Noodle, what are you doing? Noodle's joining our demonstration. And I know it's hard to tell again because it's nighttime, but getting all those different values. Let me turn on my overhead light. It makes things look really yellow, so I don't tend to like to use it. But hopefully you can see, that the drawing is starting to have more value. These are, I think, almost like there's a little bit of a glare. I think the value shows better here, sort of. Again, this is why we photograph our work during the day, but you can see the folds, the expressiveness that's right here leads nice to kind of a crinkly feel of the fabric. We're getting a nice atmosphere in the back, right? And I'll puzzle solve for the bottom. And again, here's the other one. So if I stand back, you can see my fun setup so you guys can see this is a little bit in the way of the light. There we go. Or the setup was a little bit in the way of the light. So there you can get a much better feel for the fabric and just the way that it's dropping down. And there, how it's folded and knotted. So, again, prepared for either setup that you can do at home. If there's any issues, if there's something different you need, just let me know. I will keep showing you little bits on this and demoing for you as we go. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.